Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Banner Saga. Let's see here, we needed to finish talking to Oddleaf. How are you doing, Odd? I'm alright. Not at first. Sometimes, when a loved one dies, people say it doesn't sink in for a while. It sunk in right away for me. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny. My father named me Oddleaf before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong women? What does it even mean? I've never cared for that expression. If I feel nothing about my husband dying, people think I'm strong. If I cry because my insides feel like they're on fire, I'm weak. Why does this feel so backwards? I'm sorry, Rook. It's been hard. You're not sure of what to say. In the many years you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever heard her talk. You asked me to come find you. Yes. It's about the banner. I thought about it a long time. He asked me to give it to you, if something happened. Why me? He always depended on you, Rook. It should be mine. I could carry it, but I thought about why he named you. I get it. It won't follow a woman. Families would leave. Our banner would be divided. I think they would follow you. Come on, Rook. This isn't the time to pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? And the first time someone thinks they can take advantage of us? I think this is what has to happen. Maybe that's what it means to be a strong woman. She looks sideways, eventually giving over a timid smile. I'm not sure if that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard or the sweetest. Listen, I know I've dragged this out. The truth is, my husband and I could never have a child. I don't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Alette. I know you're gonna take care of her. She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to the camp. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and pack up now. Let's go ahead and pack up now. At a small split in the trail, a few fires stop to speak with you, each carrying a single pack. We recognize this place, one man says. Spent several years here with some kin. If they're still around, we want to warn them of what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week. Let's just wish the fighters well. You nod your understanding. Kin is kin, you say. You do what you must to protect them. The man claps you on the shoulder, and the fighters depart. Complaints of Rastavir's excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled this snagged canvas through a campfire, nearly setting a supply wagon aflame. Hanson put out the fire on both the wagon and Rastavir's leg before leading him to you. Yeah, we're not putting up with this. You're considering your options when Oddleaf appears out of nowhere and doubles him over with a gut shot. Endanger everyone's lives again, and you'll get more than a cracked rib, she shouts, leaving in a huff. The others go back to the business, satisfied with the outcome. Dredge! Shouted a man from the back of the caravan. It's Rostamir. The unabashed drunk staggered toward you, looking not entirely sober. He screams again, pointing to the trees in the distance. Fear races through the caravan as fighters pull their weapons. Shouts return with no sightings and furious men surround Rostamir. Let's not take chances. There will be time for that later, you tell your men. For now, we take no chances. A full day of uneasy rest passes with no sign of Dredge. The caravan is annoyed by the scare and the delay. Eventually, Rasimir bursts out into laughter, and you're sure there was never any Dredge. Not long after, Rasimir goes missing. Nobody searches for him or seems to mind.
Once a strong, thriving city, the walls of Frostvellir now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against Dredge as well.
You jostle through a hollow crowd of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostfair for days. The gates are closed. Come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. This is not looking good. Why are there so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddly finds you among the many refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody is being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Varl from Blotsburg, Greyhorn, and people from Britta. All the nearby villages. Dredge are everywhere. And the chieftain from Frostwear has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates. When the Dredge come, these hills will be turned red. We have to get in there. Let's find out. I want to know more about what's going on in there. I see a lot of people gather around the rest houses and gates. We could find out what they know. How would we get in anyway? They closed the gate. I can get that gate open. Let's see if there's any other way before we start breaking down gates. Wasn't gonna break it. Just push really hard. Let's get some supplies. Yeah. At least a day's worth. There we go. Okay. And to the gate. You approach the gate where hundreds of people have gathered. In the trodden, bloody space in front of the doors, several pincushion bodies lie unclaimed, as though they simply belong there. Archers up on the wall make it clear that nobody will be getting in. Men and women bellow intermittently, call for mercy and reason, when they're not flinging stones and curses. Let's see. Find them off from the crowd. You spend an hour talking to different people who all have the same story. A couple of days ago, the chieftain shut himself in, closed the gates, and refused any more refugees. They've got huge stores of supplies in there too, adds one man. They're just hoarding them. Eagle pulls. I was following the outside of these walls, he says, and there's a water passage we could squeeze through, I think. Not the whole caravan, but a handful of us to get in. We might open the gates from inside. Let's shut out the guards first before we do anything. We're from Skroger. Open the gates, you shout to the archers, not expecting much. You get as much as... Archers up on the wall make it clear that nobody will be getting in. Alright, let's talk to Ivor. Ivor, did you really expect to push these gates open? I'm willing to try, grunts Ivor, despite sizing up the door that looked like they could hold back an army. And when Wen starts shooting arrows and pouring out to stop you, then you kill them, he says. No, we're not doing that. This is a terrible idea, you say. We don't even know how many there are in there. Ivor folds his arms. He seems almost relieved that he didn't have to live up to his earlier boast. Alright, leave the gates and try something else. You leave the crowds and head back down the hill. There are a lot of people gathered around the rest houses, says Oddleaf, pointing. Maybe we can find help there, or at least make ourselves useful. Wait, what? I just did that. Should I rest then? Those are the only 4 options. Alright, we'll rest. You spend the whole day at the rest houses. Everyone gives you the same story. The chieftain just shut himself in the great hall and closed the gates. There are a lot of wounded people here. Add to let. We could help them. Eagle pulls you aside. We already read that. Alright. Let's be nice and tend the wounded. Alette and Oddleaf spend the day along with others in the caravan treating wounds, most of which came from archers at the gate. I overheard from one woman that the city has been sending carts with food around. Oddleaf tells you. Could be a way in, Ivory replies. Next time they send a cart, we break. All the protests, aside from leading to a fight, it would possibly mean no more food for the refugees. Let's see here. Let's confront them? Yeah. Keep your sword down until we need it. You tell Ivor. We'll make a deal unless they're looking for a fight. Early the next day, you spot another cart leaving the city gates. After they've thrown their scraps at the refugees, you approach. Stop. My friend wants to talk with you. It's not what I wanted. Think I can guess why. If we knew there were more fighters than Varro out here, Ikiro might have brought you in the city. Who's Ikiro? He's in charge up there. In charge of what? Try to let him explain. Fine, let's go. He nods. You follow him back up to the gates, where they open the doors for you. A man clad in black approaches as you step inside. What in the depths is this? The man orders his guards to the doors close again before more refugees notice. You said you wanted fighters. You heard about the chieftain. We heard he's hiding in the Great Hall. You think... mean hiding in his grave? He's eating worms, if that wasn't clear. Oh, think you mean hiding out in a grave. There we go. What happened in here? As soon as they heard there were dredge coming, anyone who couldn't swing an axe got one to the head. That's the short story anyway. At least 3 clans in here are warring over turf and food, and the worst are godforsaken Barl. He eyes Ivor and shrugs with exaggeration, as if to simply stating the obvious. We're in more danger in here than out there? Look, I was in charge here before things went to crap. You've got some people who can fight. You got your own Varro. That counts for something. I can keep your flock safe in the Great Hall. You fight for me and to take back Frostwear. I don't take sides. Too hard to tell when the good guys have become the bad. Fine. Cut these sheep loose and watch your own asses. What do I care? All I want to do right now is get out of the damn streets. Think carefully about what you want. Yeah, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't know if that's... Ikyo has already shouted to his men, who are staring daggers in return. They just finished closing the massive doors. A fine waste of time and lives. Now get out. You pass again through the gates, Frostwear. You wonder if you just threw away your best chance for survival. Hope we know what we're doing. Making it up as we go, Ivor. Chapter 3. Little did they sleep. Hacken, we're back. I was able to get as many warriors from the strands as you wanted, and more weapons, extra supplies too. You perk up, just now realizing Mork has been talking to you. Since Wagner died, everyone has been looking up to you to make the decisions. It's exhausting. Hacken, I heard you. I was saying the Vara we sent to Strand have returned. The governor gave us most of what we wanted. Good enough. Much resistance from the governor? Some. I don't think he was happy about buying his fighters with his own money. He also insisted that we take on a lackey of his to watch over his property. A man named Eric. Eric? I met him. He seems competent enough. Regardless, the governor will have to get over it unless he wants Dredge crawling through the streets. We've put down every slag that has wandered through here while you were gone. Enough flapping of mouths then. You sure that wound's healed, Luden? I agree. Enough has already gone wrong. If something happens to the prince on a mission of peace, the alliance would rot. Or worse. They're right, Luden. Return to Strand. Go home. Why? Aren't you the fabled dredge killers? How did you let them get this far south? We're not watchmen for the world. Watch your tone. If they're here, then something has gone wrong at Shielded, and you shouldn't be here. We would only be made to do this again later, and I will not suffer it all a second time. Either take us through the wandering road, or do your job and slaughter some dredge. Ends abruptly with a scowl. He stamps back to his ring of tents and followers. Wandering road's not an option with this many. I could crush that boy's skull with one hand. If Luden won't be deterred, you'll have to deal with it. Don't let Luden get to you. Let's go. I'm sick of looking at this dump. What do I tell the warriors, Hacken? Tell them we cover the mountainsides with dredge bodies. Good. Give the word and we'll set off. Let's see here. I think we're going to call that the end for this episode, and we will see you guys next time.